the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be a very refined and polished flagship phone. Instead of adding big or dramatic changes, Samsung seems to be focusing on small but meaningful improvements that make the phone more reliable, more comfortable to use, and better in the long run. Leaks show that Samsung is working on a cleaner design, smoother software, and a smart chipset strategy that gives each region the best possible performance. Overall, the S26 Ultra looks like a balanced device built for real everyday use. The design of the Galaxy S26 Ultra follows Samsung's style of keeping things simple and recognizable. It still looks like an Ultra phone, but with small improvements that make it feel more modern and practical. The phone takes some inspiration from the Galaxy Fold 7, especially in the cleaner and more minimal look. The camera setup stays the same as before, with the separate circular lenses that Samsung has been using for a few years now. This design has become part of the Galaxy identity, and Samsung is continuing to refine it instead of changing it completely. One of the more noticeable changes is the slightly rounder corners. The S25 Ultra had sharper edges, which some users found a bit uncomfortable to hold. The new rounder corners should make the S26 Ultra easier to grip while still keeping the squared, premium look that Ultra fans like. It's a small change, but it shows Samsung is paying attention to comfort and ergonomics instead of just following trends. The internal codenames like M1, M2, and M3 suggest that Samsung is carefully planning each version of the phone with a clear strategy in mind. On the software side, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to launch with One UI 8.5 based on Android 16. This new version of One UI focuses on making the overall experience cleaner, faster, and easier to customize. Samsung is not trying to change how the interface looks completely. Instead, they want to improve what already works. One UI 8.5 aims to feel smoother and more responsive, especially when multitasking or switching between apps. Users will also have more ways to personalize their home screens, animations, and settings. Multitasking will receive special improvements. Features like split screen, floating windows, and using multiple apps together should work even better in One UI 8.5. Samsung is also improving how all its devices connect with each other. Phones, tablets, watches, and other Samsung products will work more smoothly as one ecosystem. This shows Samsung's big goal of keeping users inside a connected environment where all devices feel linked. Some users may get to test One UI 8.5 early. Samsung is expected to start the beta program for the S25 series around December 2025. This early access will let users try the new features before the S26 Ultra launches. Most of the changes in One UI 8.5 seem focused on real-world usefulness rather than adding flashy features that people forget later. As software becomes more important for the overall experience, these improvements will help Samsung stay competitive. The chipset situation for the Galaxy S26 Ultra is also interesting. Samsung is expected to continue offering two different processors depending on the region. Some markets may get the new Exynos 2600, while most global versions will likely use the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Samsung's home market South Korea is expected to get more Exynos units, while places like North America and Europe will mostly get Snapdragon. The Exynos 2600 is getting a lot of attention because it is being made using Samsung's new 7GAA manufacturing process. This is a big step forward and should help improve performance, reduce heat, and make the phone more power efficient. But the new manufacturing process has challenges, especially with low production yields. Because of these limitations, Samsung may not be able to produce enough Exynos chips, which is why Snapdragon will still be the main chipset in many regions. On the other hand, Snapdragon chips have always performed strongly in Galaxy phones, and many users prefer them. Samsung seems to understand this and is trying to balance user expectations with its own desire to grow the Exynos lineup. This dual-chip approach gives Samsung flexibility, but it also means there may still be performance differences between regions. Some users already believe Snapdragon models are better, so Samsung needs to make sure both chipsets offer a similar experience. The internal names M1, M2, and M3 suggest Samsung is dividing the S26 lineup into different models for specific audiences. This shows how much planning goes into making a flagship series that fits different needs like performance, battery life, and camera quality. Overall, the Galaxy S26 Ultra looks like a phone built with careful decisions instead of risky changes. Samsung is focusing on what really matters: comfort, performance, software stability, and ecosystem integration. The S26 Ultra may not look dramatically different, but it reflects years of feedback and smart planning. It shows Samsung's direction of slow but steady improvement, offering a device that feels reliable, polished, and ready for the future.